So we're finally less than 2 weeks away from Power Rangers Once and Always officially being released on Netflix, and I've finally actually just sat down and watched the trailer all the way through. And I've got to say, I haven't been filled with this much excitement in a really, really long time for a project like this. I got really, really hyped up when I was 16 for the 2017 movie, and it wasn't that great. So, I'm really, really hoping all the things that we want really do come out of this. I mean, looking at the practical effects we've seen so far, like the Zord sequence, it looks so good updated even though it was just a small snippet. The suits look astounding. Seeing the original cast return, obviously, is the biggest plus of it all, and seeing an unmorphed Zack do flips still has its charm, and that makes me really, really excited. So, our biggest questions as a community right now have been something along the lines of how did Rita come back? Why she got a new body? Yada yada yada. Obviously, these are questions that people have already tried to ask and answer. So, I'm just going to be going over this simply with the face of, oh my god, this is really, really cool. I can't wait to talk about it all. So obviously, disclaimer coming up, everything about what I'm about to say is mostly based in my opinions and how I feel about the show as a whole. So starting off obviously with what we know is guaranteed to be Trini's death scene. This is going to be quite a heartfelt thing to happen so early in what we can assume is going to happen in the special. Considering from what we know, these Rangers, for the most part, aside from a couple here and there in previous returnings, haven't really suited up in a long time. Now from that, obviously, we do see a lot of things from certain things from Billy's perspective, certain things going on. Obviously, Robo Rita was trying to kill Billy, and Trini obviously jumps in the way of that. That's I'm interested to see how that's actually going to affect Billy in the series. Obviously, Billy morphed is on the front of the poster directly, in front of everyone else. So my personal thinking is that Billy's almost definitely going to be leading the team through this one, and I'm really excited to see that. It's a shame that Rocky won't really get the chance, because I don't think he will anyway, as he's never actually led the team, even though he wore the red colours when he was part of the team. Tommy led it as the White Ranger, so I think he's kind of just more coming back to fill the team properly, and I'm not quite mad about that, because I personally prefer Rocky over Jason. And as we've seen, the suits look incredible. I can't wait to see what they do on screen involving weapons and such. I'd really, really like to see them just at least once summon their combinable weapons. I think that'd be a really, really cool thing for them to do. I don't see it happening, but I would be really, really excited for it. And there's a lot that could happen. Obviously, we know we see the Green Ranger suit. We don't know who's in it. We don't know how long Tommy's going to be in the whole of it. It could just be a flashback sequence, and a lot of that's in a way really, really sad. Also, in the opening sequence, we do see the small scene of Alpha activating the Bandora protocol, which obviously is, as everyone knows at this point, a really, really cool callback to Zyuranger. I am a huge Zyuranger fan. I'm not big on Sentai, but Zyuranger is one of the only ones I've seen, and I really, really enjoy it. So it was really, really cool to see them actually pay homage to their original, even though this is probably the first time there won't be any Sentai footage used. And I'm really up and down about that in two ends, because I didn't think they'd get to a point where they did this, let alone where it's going. So I can't wait to see how well it plays out for them. Hopefully, anyway. Obviously, then there's the whole time travel aspect that we've seen. So from what we can gather, realistically, I think what we're gonna see more than likely is the first 20 minutes of the show actually take place in modern day, and the rest of it with them going back in time. Along those sort of lines, I think Trini's daughter Min is gonna kind of follow along in the time stream and kind of try and lay low but still go after Robo Rita. I also straight up wasn't expecting the use of the putties in the filming at all. I wasn't expecting so many. And I'm also really, really liking the look of the two new monsters that they've brought in. Obviously, they're all practical effects, so it's really, really good. A lot of this seems to be based more on practical effects than CGI, so Power Rangers as a franchise has definitely learned its lesson from the 2017 movie. So I'm assuming that we'll only see small amounts of CGI, if any, obviously from transformation sequences and such. So we'll probably see a little bit from when the monster that they eventually kill grows. And obviously, my biggest nitpick when I first watched it, and I say I first watched it, I watched it about 10 minutes ago and I've thought about it for a little bit first. Well, my biggest nitpick was the original Zords were destroyed, but at the same time, if they are going back in time, those Zords would still be available, so that makes perfect sense. I will say I kind of hope they don't bring Zordon back, just because I feel like at this point, obviously, the Rangers aren't teenagers anymore. They're all grown-ass adults. They've all got their own lives. They've all got things that they've done. Um, I don't think they quite need a group mentor anymore. I think Min will need mentoring from the other Rangers, and I think she'll probably be a Yellow Ranger for like the vast 20 to 15 minutes of it when she finally like gets her birthright, I guess. And that's when this whole sequence will happen. But obviously, none of that's set in stone. These are all just me speculating while I'm talking about something I really like. Obviously, we've seen a lot of other things. We've seen that Adam and Aisha are going to return in more of a supporting role, which I'm not quite mad about. Adam is one of my favourite characters ever in Power Rangers. I also really, really like Johnny Young Boss just as a person and a voice actor, so I can't wait to see him come back. The SPA thing I'm really excited to see. I hope they do expand on that at least a little bit. As sad as it is that we probably won't see them morph at all, I'm not completely mad about it because like they're not the focus of the series. It's more focus on the other Rangers that are involved, as they were the ones that kind of had to deal with more. So I'm really, really excited to see how it'll go. Seeing this new Mighty Morphin team actually form is going to be really, really cool for me personally. I kind of grew up more on the 95 movie than I did on MMPR initially when I was really little. And because of that, I have a lot of attachment to the second wave of MMPR Rangers. So I have a bit more of a love for Adam and Rocky, but I still really like Zach. And obviously, with all of these changes going on, I think it makes sense for Billy to be the leader of the team anyway, because Billy's the most veteran Ranger. He's the one with the most battle experience, and he's the one that's kind of always been the brains of the group. Even when he wasn't a Ranger in Zeo, he was still kind of around helping them out, and I think for that reason alone, if he isn't leading the team, it's going to be the weakest point of the movie. Seeing Kat's return as a Ranger as well, I think is really, really cool. Well, she never got the chance to use the pterodactyl coin because that was Kimberly's, and she was the second Mighty Morphin Pink, and she was only a Ninja Ranger from what I remember. Seeing all of this change and where it's going to go is going to be really, really cool, I think, for the team, for the actors, for everyone involved, and for us as viewers, and I really, really can't wait to see how it's going to translate to a page. It's a shame, obviously, we won't have some Rangers returning. Obviously, unfortunately, JDF passed away. And with Amy Jo Johnson working on a Boom comic, she can't obviously play. But that's not really a problem, in my opinion. I think what they have is enough. Trying to focus on what would have been 8 or 9 perspectives is much harder than 2 cameos and a 5 Ranger team. So I think this could be the best way to meld back together the original Mighty Morphin setting and just bring the whole thing to a close before Cosmic Fury. And one thing I would also like to say is I want to see if this will tie into Cosmic Fury in any way, shape, or form, because from what we know from speculation and stuff, these are like the last 2 things from Sentai adaptations of Power Rangers before they basically reboot the universe with Jonathan Entwistle. And personally, I'm really, really hoping this goes out more on a bang than anything else, because I would really, really like to see the way the past 30 years have culminated kind of wrap up nicely, because there have been some Ranger series or some Ranger episodes that have just been kind of, and it's left a stain on it, obviously. Like, when Disney kind of stopped, we had like a good few years gap with no Power Rangers series. It kind of fell away, and then Samurai happened, and then we basically didn't want it for a while. So, like, I'm kind of hoping they do tie it all up well, mostly for the 30th special. I can handle if Cosmic Fury isn't going to be amazing. I'm kind of hoping it is, though, because I like the Dino Fury team. But anyway, back on topic. I think this Ranger team could be a really, really interesting thing to see, as a lot of them either do or don't know each other very well. Obviously, Billy knows everyone, Billy being the most veteran Ranger in the team. And I think this is going to be a really, really weird thing of, well, Zach doesn't know Rocky and Kat, so why would he let them lead? And so on and so forth. So, because everyone kind of only really would have that same sort of trust in Billy, I think it makes the most sense for Billy to almost be the focal character of the series, aside from Min. Obviously, with Min having the other thing of wanting to avenge her mum, having all these things that she wants, and obviously sneaking back in time. By the way, the scene of her in the command center is really, really interesting, because they never let anyone in the command center back in the day. So I think Alpha's actually going to be the one to convince her to become a Ranger. I think she's not going to initially want to do it. She's just going to want to try and take her own action. But obviously that's, again, speculation. I'm also really, really interested to see how Alpha works with the group without Zordon mentoring him too. I think this could lead to a really, really interesting dynamic of Alpha just kind of doing the things that Billy did in Zeo while the rest of the team function, and they talk to Alpha about how they feel and what's going on. Yeah, that is pretty much everything, thoughts and feelings wise, for me, coming from the 30th anniversary once and always. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and comment, and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Obviously, I do Kamen Rider and Super Sentai content as well, and that will be coming out more often now. After Once and Always comes out, I will be making a pretty big video breaking it down and talking about it because I'm really, really excited to. I'll be watching it about 3 times with different friends just so I can get a complete feel for how it looks, how it is, and everything about it in case I miss anything. So on that note, thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day.